Hi, it's Christopher in Chris Talks, where I'm going to be bringing you small headlines that make a big difference. So, inflation, right? Seems like it's taken its pivotal role, right? It started with the recent pandemic, then moves on to tariffs, and more recently, the cost of oil. If there's a person who takes a good long look at the consumer index, what will they see? In my opinion, inflation started with raising pay wages. Now, don't get me wrong, I think hardworking people should have respectable paychecks. But floating down this topic, I think it's pretty obvious that inflation at this point won't turn around. So, what are we supposed to do? Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do. People will have to start saving their money for simple things. The president wanted businesses to absorb the cost, but that didn't happen. Now we're left footing the bill. There's a new thing that's going called dynamic pricing, and I think I heard something about it being like AI driven. So here's what one state is doing to combat the this as seen by the way people are spending. Maryland is to become the first state to ban dynamic pricing. What is this, you might ask? It's when a business uses information about you they have, like spending habits, salary, family size, and stuff you buy regularly, to change the price on items to fit what you'll be willing to pay. Yeah, this is the thing. The best way to explain this is there isn't a fixed price. So other states are going to push for this too. Recently, President Trump lashed out to Pope Leo XIV over not helping with the Iran conflict. The Pope apparently didn't have nice things to say about the whole ordeal, but now says he doesn't want to debate the president. War's not a pretty thing. Take it from an army brat like me. Switching gears, I want to talk about the Iran conflict unscripted. So, what I personally see is almost to say an abuse of power. It starts off with how much oil that they put out. Okay, we're dependent on that, and there's trade embargoes that are supposed to implement our safety, our let's say our safety spaces between each other. Like right here the US does their business and there's Iran doing theirs. Well, Iran is threatening to cut off the Strait of Hormuz, which is they have done, and there's from what I heard, there was a 2 week ceasefire that Pakistan negotiated with them, I think, and here by Wednesday, the vice president still hasn't said that there will be any resolution, and that the president doesn't want to negotiate with just saying, "Oh, we'll mind our business and you mind yours." That's not it. They want there to be a final resolution where they're not doing the thing with making bombs and stuff like that. So Iran, they don't want a negotiation like that, and there's no one over here who's willing to let them do exactly that. So the problem comes now that President Trump is threatening, if this negotiation doesn't fall through, where you know the way it happened, once they want it to happen, then President Trump's going to issue he's going to issue strikes on the infrastructures, which is things like power plants, heavily populated areas, uh, military complexes, sort of stuff like that. Stuff to kind of like neutralize them. And Trump has said this before, that before the 2 week ceasefire deal, he was threatening to wipe out the whole civilization. And it's kind of been a quiet thing. It's like everybody here has been quiet as a church mouse, and you know, President Trump is handling all of that, in his hands, and nobody here has a